Okay, so here we are. This time nobody has to look at my face. They're going to look at this picture for the whole video. The reason it says God Blast America is because that's exactly what it should be. With my name proudly printed down there as, let's see, who have I always said I was? I was His Royal Majesty Caesar St. Augustine de Bonaparte for President 2012, also known as Reality Supreme Being on YouTube for all the rants and raves. More than 400 videos. I showed this video not too long ago, and I keep showing this picture because you'll see the comic book Addicted to War there. You'll see that on YouTube. There's a guy named Frank Durrell that his name is in that book as well, and you should get the video called What I Learned About U.S. Foreign Policy. You know, with the world being controlled the way it is, I would think that people would rise up and revolt against it. Or is that why they've got the 680 detention centers all built across the country, besides the PRIONS possibility of 30 or 40 year incubation period, which it should be coming to a head by now. Which means that people like me don't ever have to threaten. We don't have to do anything because cops, judges, lawyers, all of them have created all of this hatred, and it's hidden in a lot of people. Now, a lot of you don't understand what neurochemistry is really all about, but they've learned a lot about the human brain, including the capability for it to repair itself, with amazing capabilities. But even with all these amazing capabilities, it won't stop the violence and the killing and the death and destruction. And my twin, for instance, was pulled over last night for not having a light on his bike. But the officers drove by first and were not even around there for at least 2 or 3 blocks. I mean, they must have drove more like 6 blocks away before they turned around and came back and decided to hassle the guy. Now, they're concerned about the safety of a person putting a light on the bike, right? That sure is strange, since 75% of their tax dollars and every U.S. citizen's tax dollars goes to doing exactly what you're looking at right here. And I would think a light on a bicycle would take lower precedent to that kid's fear of look while he's covered in blood. Or the lady here who's also covered in blood from friendly fire and drone fire. Or this kid who was on TV because he lost all his arms and legs. Or this little girl whose swollen stomach shows hunger. Or this little boy who's got a tube attached to him while he's got, looks like bullet holes on 4 parts of his body or on his arms. And of course all the soldiers. There have been more deaths from suicide in Iraq and Afghanistan than there have been in actual casualties from the actual roadside bombs and stuff. Now here's a guy who has, let's see if I can get a good picture of him. He's got his arms way up. It's kind of hard to tell because of this lighting and stuff, but let's see if I can get it a little better. Anyways, arms are up. He's in terrible. And that thing that at the bottom of him, those 3 little bags there, are his 3 children buried in one coffin. Okay? Wouldn't that piss you off? Hack you off enough to want to set a bomb in Boston? Wouldn't that hack you off enough to want to fly planes into buildings while the media tries to tell you, oh, let's be tough American citizens and continue with this war against terror, which was made up by the politicians, made up by everybody. Read Addicted to War. You'll see what I'm talking about. The government has me under their thumb. They have it all figured out. See this guy? See, you can't even see that it's a person. But that's a head. And that's his face, what's left of it, blown off completely. I want you people to see this, and only in black and white, because it doesn't do any good showing you color, because you already see plenty, even young kids this age see plenty of blood playing video games, slicing blood, killing people, all these video action games. I'm not saying I'm against them. I'm just saying that it sure is evil when you figure out that through all of the 10,000 year written history of humankind, if you really can use the word kind in the word, that's kind of hypocrisy. Down here, believe it or not, by my name, it says how our news, it says right there above my name, it says how, I can't even focus it in. Anyway, I'll read it to you. How our news is sanitized to prevent the destruction and suffering created by the U.S. occupation of Iraq from entering our reality. And that's why I call myself Reality Supreme Being, because only a Supreme Being could tell you that in a truly advanced civilization, there is no war, there is no crime, there's nobody getting pulled over for a light on a bicycle. They don't think about safety. If they thought about safety, they would not pay their taxes. They're all evil. I think it's Christ who said, I don't think, I know, who's quoted as saying by Matthew in Matthew 18:6, that those who do damage to a child, better to tie a millstone to their neck and be tossed into the sea. I was told this story about the police pullover for the person's safety, supposedly, which is really a lot of bull. Did you know that if you're riding a bike in the middle of the night, my older twin told me the story because he got issued the ticket, that if you're driving a bike in the middle of the night, you're more likely to see cars coming towards you. You're more likely to practice safety maneuvers, super safety maneuvers, if you're in the dark. Another point I'd like to make, the police were totally negligent in. They, like he told me that they drove away from him first, then they came back and you know, he told them off. He told them that they're all criminals, they're all crooks, they're all gang members with badges, and the cop answered, yep, we sure are. Like a form of sarcasm. The officer's name is Kiefer, by the way. I told him that this was being recorded, that it was being recorded. Not me told him, but he told him, my twin. He told him that that it was being recorded and it would be put on YouTube. Well, it is being put on YouTube, and it's being put on YouTube because my twin plans to. I believe he told me he's going to send a full report in to Internal Affairs and tell him how irresponsible the officer was and how sarcastic he was. They're full of garbage. If they're going to pull over people for lights on bicycles, and he also told them off about the people that they've towed away their motorhomes and stuff, and when they're finally on the street sleeping on the sidewalk and in doorways, totally homeless, no place to go. And don't let the city tell you, we have shelters. That's a lot of bull crap too. They want to reduce a person to nothing and then have them sleeping on the street with nothing that they've worked for, everything they worked for, their motorhome, whatever. If they have a drinking or drug problem, I know that there are people that live like that, but they don't want to pay mortgage. They don't want, because the banks use the money to kill innocent men, women, and children, just like the pictures you're looking at right here. And that's why I'm not going to take this camera off of here. This is only 8 minutes into the video. I want you to get a good look at the pictures that used to be on the internet, but they're not anymore because I think I wrote here, no flag or colored rag is worth all multiplied, all this by thousands. So you think about that while you're sitting at home trying to contradict me, trying to call me the one that needs meds. I think it's the other way around. I know it's the other way around. All of you need meds. You need meds up the kazoo. Your body needs to be injected with meds 24 hours a day because all of you contribute to this death and destruction every day of your life. And you generate children to grow up to do this too. Aiding and abetting in the crimes, not worse than war crimes, I mean, these kids are going to live with these scars for the rest of their lives in their minds. And you don't think that they hate America? Here's a baby, okay, being taken care of in one of those hospitals in Iraq. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, and here's a guy holding his dead daughter, okay? Here's, like I said, all the soldiers' flags draped in coffins, or coffins draped in flags. I said it backwards. Here's a soldier whose face looks like he's not too happy about what he sees. So when you think about all of this, you wonder, where is all of your priorities? Oh, he told me that too. He said that this guy's name was, this cop's name was Kiefer, and he didn't seem afraid at all that it would be reported to Internal Affairs and it would stick on his record. I call it negligent to his duties as an officer if he really cares about the safety of other people, and that the law says there must be a light on every bicycle. Well, not everybody can have the money for a light on a bicycle. They're homeless, they're hurting, they're having to collect cans just to make it by, much less their time be diverted by having to go to court to prove you've put a light on your bicycle. And then even after even if it is a fix-it ticket, the court then charges you court fees for processing the paper. Talk about Voltrons. That's what I call Voltrons, like in the movie The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. It's unbelievable how you people, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in there the Voltrons aren't satisfied and everything's bureaucratic. They have to fill out forms and tickets and triplicate and send it off to another to be again formed and triplicated again. It's like, where are your priorities? This is where your priorities are, right here. You're looking at it 24/7, 24 hours a day, and I plan to stick this stuff in your face. Actually, this is a sheet that I was going to send off to people all over the country when I was running for president, and all 16 challenges I made to Obama and Romney were never answered. 16 different challenges with more than 30-day deadline dates to answer it. So it was over a 2-year period. So presidential candidates, mayoral candidates, they're all liars. You're all killers. Even you voters, you go out and you vote. Well, you're voting for the people that are pushing the broom, pushing the weapons of war. That's what you're doing. And every time you pay 1 penny of federal tax, or even state tax, or even city tax, screw everybody. I don't see where your brains are. You worry about your own kids, but you don't worry about everybody else's. And the media just writes up the story. You know why people are really coming unglued, and why the wars really go on and are keeping fuel? They're fueled by PRION activity. Your brains are all being eaten away slowly until you either come down with Alzheimer's or dementia when you get older. The other side of the spectrum on this, which is the violent side, which is the brain. When the brain gets holes punched in it, it can take on a violent attitude, and it can be very, very, very intelligent at doing the violence. So, as far as I'm concerned, as far as my older twin is concerned, we don't have to do threats or anything like that, because the threats are already out there. You've made them. You voters have made them. The politicians have made them. The police have made them. In a truly advanced civilization with the kind of technology that this race of beings on this planet have, you shouldn't need any police on the street. My older twin told him that if he was dictator of this country, they would all be out of the job, because there would be no crime, and he wouldn't have to fire a single shot to do it. Wouldn't have to imprison anybody in the normal type jails either. But no, you people are going to continue harassing each other and putting your priorities all up your you-know-what, your kazoo. Yeah, you got your priorities all up your kazoo. You don't have any brains, and you never will. So the bottom line is, this is all that you're interested in. That's what you're interested in, just watching your computer screens and going on YouTube and Blah, 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 blah. That's why you human beings are probably going to die soon. You're all going to die. One day a huge meteor will come along and put you all out of your miseries because you can't handle. You won't let the super smart people take control because you're so afraid of them. It's like in the movie Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned, made in 1964. Oh, about these kids who are so advanced. Man, 1,000,000 years into the future. They even made a remake of the movie. Maybe that's what they think I am, you know. A super advanced race with a brain and intellect that can't handle and doesn't want to handle being around any of you because you don't have the guts, balls, stamina, or motivation to take down this government, all governments all over the planet, and get rid of the troublemakers and fire half, if not most, of the police forces in the world, because you don't need police in a truly advanced society. Because everybody knows how to act. They know how to be. They have all been educated properly in etiquette and in charm. But you people don't have a clue about that. Because if you claim to be a charming person here, with dressing yourself like a citizen of greatness, and you give to charity, and you do this and you do that, all the good you do is undone by what you're looking at right now. And so when there's a voice of reason, many voices of reason, mine isn't the only one. When there are voices of reason throughout the world, you keep them apart, and it's on purpose. You keep them apart because if they ever gathered in one spot, the power would be so great, it would surpass all of the atomic weapons on planet Earth. It would surpass every gun, every rifle, every ticket every cop gives out unfairly. It would surpass every kind of abuse, every gang, everything. Because a truly civilized society doesn't have those problems. They've got them all worked out. And you can't work them out by putting people in jail or in 680 detention centers, or thinking that there's too many people, so let's figure out a way of how they can exterminate themselves so they make more room for other people. Do you know you could put the whole population of the planet Earth standing end to end in line on the state of Alabama? It's fact. Go look it up if you don't believe me. So yeah, I would rather show this than show my face anymore. And that's what you're going to see from now on. Pictures from Iraq, Afghanistan, pictures of what you people have caused. These pictures. You're the ones responsible. 75% of your tax dollar goes to this, and it will continue going to this. It isn't about 9/11, and there's a lot of lies being told about 9/11, and I'm not going to go into it. But regardless of whether they're truth or lies, it doesn't matter. The end result is what matters, and what matters is the violence. And you just people don't get it. You're killing your own DNA. That little boy there, and hundreds like him, or that little girl there, and hundreds like them, could have been the next geniuses to have helped our planet. And DNA shuffles. It's Russian roulette. There's no way you can ever replace that little girl, that exact representation of DNA, that shuffle that makes that person, or that person, or even that person. You cannot shuffle the DNA to create that. You don't have that kind of technology yet. You might be able to clone them, but you can't fill their brains with the same experiences, the same knowledges that were in the other person's brain. Now, some of it might be there, but not all of it, and certainly not any new experiences. So no matter how much you say you have the capability to clone, it wouldn't be exactly the same thing. And so it would not provide the exact same results at the end of all of this. Anyway, that's it for now. See you later. This is Reality Supreme Being going off the air. For now.